and welcome to another video. Today we are going to talk about rack building. And you're gonna see me build my rack that I have behind me there, or there. And there were a lot of fiddly bits, some things that took a long time, so I've skipped over those, explained those more in the video, and so on, but at least you will see most of the building part. And one thing I need to say here is thank you for watching my videos, of course, that is supporting the channel, or if you're a patron, thank you for that. Or if you ever have bought merch, or if you have signed up for a Coursera course, or anything like that, gone into coffee and sent me some bucks there, or any way that you can support me, thank you so much. Everything has been bundled together for a couple of months now, and I was actually able to buy this rack mounted thing, or this rack behind me, so I could actually make this video and also try to figure out how to structure things in a rack, how to work with racks, how to build computers in rack and so on. And that it's a topic that I'm really passionate about, because in a server system, in big data centers, you have racks, and knowing more about them and also giving you the knowledge about how to rack mount things and how to think about racks is really good knowledge if you're going to work with or being some kind of DevOps in this world. It's very important to have these kind of skills, know the different terminology, know how to put things into a rack, what is needed and what is required and so on. So this was a really fun journey. Please join me in building a rack. Let's go over to the video. I got packages. Oh yes. So this is my rack. Everybody loves a great rack, and the forgetful person that I am, I don't really remember what I ordered. So it's gonna be really interesting to open this. First off, we have one package from Dustin, and Dustin is a company that has been selling computer parts in Sweden for about 30 years or so, 40 years, so they have done it for a long time. And this Thomann is a German company that has been selling musical instruments and musical stuff since 60 years or so. So I believe that they have sent me the right things, I just don't remember all of it. So from Thomann I got some rack parts that is actually made for stereos and receivers and so on, and Dustin is the computer parts, so those are more computer oriented parts. So let's see what Dustin sent me first off, and see if we can open it from the bottom here. Maybe that is possible. So there should be Keystone things and other things that are network related. So let's see here. Yeah, we got a bunch of these small keystones. So this is something that we're gonna use in the rack part. I also got these kind of clips where you put in your Ethernet cables, so you can create more of those. I actually have about 100 meters of Ethernet cable. So those are those things. Then we have this one, a D-Lock patch panel. So this is gonna be interesting. It's this kind of thing that you mount in your system, and you can have your keystones patched in there. So this is a 24 port one. And then we have this one, which is a 2U rack mount 15 way power strip. So I really hope that this is not what we got, because we don't have those kind of plugs in Sweden. So I hope that these are just normal plugs. Yeah, seems to be normal European plugs with ground. So that's nice. So now I can have power in my rack. And that's all she wrote. So we have Dustin done. All that we got from Dustin. So we got some Ethernet and some power from Dustin. So let's see the first package from Thorman. They have actually nailed this together. So maybe the easiest part is just to rip it up, not use a scissor. That's a different way of doing packaging. But at least this arrived in one piece. And it was, the funny part is that one part was sent to a pizza shop, and the other part was sent home, and the largest part, of course, was sent home. And I wasn't at home, and I said that they should send it to the pizza place, but they didn't. So that was interesting. We got a bunch of these extra screws and things for rack mounting. And then we have this package. So a package within a package. So much packing material. So I need to remove this later on before I can actually start building anything. So what's in this package then? Really interesting. Whatever could have been lying here. Yeah! Okay. This is the shelf. So I'm gonna have a shelf that is something that you can draw out. So this is one shelf mount, and then you're able to pull it out from the actual mounting. And you also can mount it in different lengths of racks. So that's great. I think we can just put this on the side here with all the other stuff, and then get rid of this packing material. And last but not least, this should be the rack. And you see here, the funny part is that they actually, it's totally ripped up and scuffed and so on, and there is a package within a package here. So hopefully it didn't really hurt anything. Yeah, okay. So this is the actual rack package it came in. So it's a really large box within a really large box. So the outer box is just for Thorman to have said that they shipped it, but this is the Millennium 2024. So I think it's a 24U rack. Let's see if I can get rid of this packaging here. So much packaging material. Oh, let's go for this one then. How do we open that? Do we open it from the side? Seems like it. I wonder if they have repackaged this or if it's just been scuffed in their warehouse or something like that. So let's see. Maybe we can pull things out from the end here. It weighs a lot. Let's see if I can pull it out here. There's one part, probably the top part. Oh, then we have the sides. Not really have room in the roof here for this. There's one side of the rack. Got the other side. Perhaps I can just put them on each other. And then I guess we got a bottom plate as well. And there is something in the bottom of this packaging. It will be the screws or something like that. Yeah, screws. and information about the system and wheels and so on. So there is a lot of things here. So now I need to do some cleanup and remove all the extra packaging here because I don't have that much room to build otherwise. So let's jump to that. Yeah, so there is no instructions what I could find, but there is some kind of mounting hardware here. Then we have a lot of these kind of brackets and so on that we could put in, and also a lot of screws to mount things here. But I think these are, you can either go with feet or with wheels if you like. So I'm gonna try feet. That is totally wrong, then I will remove it. So my guess is that the feet goes into this one, because this one seemed to be the top as it doesn't have any feet. Sticker up here, remove that. And then we have these, where I think the actual outtake should be pointed downwards. So I think now that they are pointing upwards, we should be able to put the top cover on, or the bottom cover on, and be ordered to mount it that way. There is some extra standoffs here as well, which is a little bit discerning, because I don't really know how that should go together. So let's figure it out. So now I just need to figure out how to build this stuff. There isn't that much of instructions on these, what I can see. So I guess I just have to figure it out. So trigger build montage. Yeah, so I finally got it in there. I actually had to take out all these screws that we put in everywhere, and then take out the top screws up here, and also remove some of them in the back here, in order for it to widen up enough so I could actually put in the switch in the front here. So I believe that the real racks have a little bit more give. This is very rigid. It's not really 19 inches, which it should be. It should be a little bit more than 19 inches. So you don't have things that are that flush to things. I also had to take the screws out and put them in really tight on the switch, so I don't have any extra things sticking out on it. But I got it in there. So now I'm gonna put it in place, turn it on, and then start moving my hardware later on to the new rack. So all my machines will be on this shelf down here. I will put in keystones up here. Could perhaps label them up if I want to. So I'm actually gonna show you some things that I used in when I created the TP cables. So this is one of these. This is a normal twisted pair jack. So twisted pair, you get connections, pretty much 4 different connections that are twisted. So in all you have 8 different cables that you need to put into one of these jacks. And this is one that I don't really like, because it's one sheathing, and then you pretty much put in a crimp and you crimp it down, and then it's one done. So you need to have the cables at the right length when you put it in here, and have them totally straight cut, or else you don't get a good connection. And I had before this one where you had another plastic sheathing or something like that, where you put all your cables into that one, and then you put that one into here. And by this small one, you could cut cables on a straight line on one side of that, and then put it in here, and you knew that you had a straight good connection. So that's why I don't really like this. I did for 5 of my 6 cables in the rack that way with the old one, and then the last one I had to use one of these, because these were the ones that I bought, and I didn't realize that there were different kind of solutions for the same thing here. So sadly I didn't realize that, and now I have a bunch of these bad ones, but I can probably do some fun with that at least. Then you have these ones, and these are so fiddly. Doing the other ones, that's a hassle, yeah, but this is nothing like this one. First off, you have this plastic strap thing that you can use in order to secure it into your rack. And then you have this metal casing where you have some plastic in here, and then here you have something that will cut into the cable and do a good connection. But in order for these to work, you need to put them into this one. And this one has 8 channels that you need to put it into the inner one and the outer one. So inner and outer. And then you need to have a straight line in between there. And the cables are not really that loose either. They are very stiff. So you put them through this hole here, and then it gets up here, and then you need to get 8 of these in line for this, both the inner and the outer, which was such a hassle. So doing 6 of them was totally fine, but there is other ones of these where you have the connection, this connection on both ends. So you have it just going through, and then you can use a normal cable with these kind of connections, and then just, yeah, put them in there. So Yeah, that was an interesting experience. I did it over 2 days because I got really fed up with this fiddly work. When I was done, I told my wife about it, and she was like, "Yeah, fiddly work. You could ask me, because I like to do that, and I have special tools that could make it easier for you." And I was like, "Yeah, I could have done that, but I didn't." Yeah. So now the rack is done, and I will show you the different parts of the rack now. Yeah. So the rack is done. I have put in the keystones down here. So these are the keystones up here, and then the cables comes down beneath here, and we have the all the power back there, and all the power cables comes down. And then I have this shelf with all the computers that I had on the other side over here before. So now I only have the computers down here, and I still have this Mac Mini that I need to get rid of. It's for work, but I need to have something that can rack mount them over at their place. I would like to have patch cables that are much shorter, of course. And then when you have these kind of small computers, yeah, you can find a rack mount for them that you can put in, but they are all heterogeneous. I have 3 of the same kind, but 2 of them are different. And I would like to have it like that. I don't really want them to be all the same, because if you have faulty hardware, all of them could go and so on. So I would like to have some redundancy there. So the shelf system could be good. I was thinking about the power bars, put them on a separate shelf down here or something like that, and then have all the blinking lights of those power bricks to be their own little city that you can fly through or something with a microscopic camera. But yeah, that was just a silly idea. But I don't really know how to handle the cable management in here. Of course, I could put some zip ties on the network cables and put those to one side. I put most of the power cables on this side, so at least have separated those. But they need to go to all the computers, and the computers are not distributed in a good manner. I could, of course, put the computers on each other, but the top part here is just not, it's not a closed vented system. It actually gets air out there to cool the system. So yeah, I don't know if there is a really good solution for this, but the rack is done. It's installed. It was such a fiddly work to get all the keystones in, and I actually had to take this full keystone shelf out in order to put them in, because there isn't that much room behind there. But yeah, at least they are in there, and I could make cables for all the other ones if I actually thought that I would have 24 systems in this rack. But yeah, I guess I will have a couple of more in the future at least. I would like to put down here something for power. So for instance, an UPS or something like that would be really nice to put in the top bottom point here, so I actually could have them running for a little while I turn them off if the power goes out or something like that. Yeah, so this is my rack. That is all I wanted to cover today. I hope that you found this interesting. I hope that you learned something. If you liked this video, give it a like, share it with your friends and colleagues. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do that. And if you have any comments or suggestions, leave them down in the comment section down below. And I really hope to see you in the next video.